Welcome, face-peeling psychopaths, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And we are back. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of an issue came up this week. We were trying to make February a month of guest with guest hosts, and unfortunately, we had our friend from the Movies for Real podcast who was supposed to join us, but unfortunately he had a family emergency, so he could not join us. So, Malik, this one's going out to you, buddy.
Yep.
So anyway, tonight we are talking about Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Yeah, which should have been called Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Let's just get that out of the way right now, okay?
Yeah.
Just pretend that they just called it Harley Quinn. We pretty much called it Harley Quinn throughout the week of planning this one.
Yeah. Because that's what it should have been called.
It's what it should have been called. So, ignoring that completely, ignoring the title completely, Mike, what did you think of this movie?
I thought it was a fun movie. Not as great as I was kind of hoping it would be.
Okay.
Yeah, you've been hyping it up, and I was like, okay, yeah. It's like, okay. When it gets to like the third act, especially, I thought, okay, now it's starting really to click on all cylinders here. For me, the first two acts were a little uneven, but still enjoyable overall.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, let's just put it this way: the bar for the DCEU is so goddamn low, you could step over it. So when I say that this is top tier DCEU, I mean it as a compliment. I think this movie's fantastic.
Would you say it's fantabulous?
I would have gone out and watched it independently had it not been for the Harley Quinn animated series. But
would you say that this movie is fantabulous?
It is fantabulous. Quite honestly, this might be my favorite DCEU movie. It's between this and Shazam, really.
For me, Shazam.
Okay. Well, you also haven't seen the Suicide Squad yet either.
I haven't. I actually haven't watched Suicide Squad because I hadn't watched this one. That's also the reason I haven't watched Peacemaker.
Right. Oh, okay. So, yeah, now you've got some stuff you need to do then. Yeah. You need to watch both of those. Because quite honestly, I know James Gunn is getting a lot of credit right now for actually breathing like actual legitimate life into this cinematic universe. But I think a lot of credit does belong to Kathy Yan. I don't think enough people are talking about her and what she did with this movie. She took, honestly, let's put it this way. She took the male gaze character from Suicide Squad, which is an odious movie.
Yeah. She took the one likable character from Suicide Squad, built an entire movie around her.
Right, exactly. But even with that, she was still like, I had a hard time even engaging in the character because she was shot from the male gaze.
Mm.
You know, and I said this on our Suicide Squad review that close-up shots of her ass garnered more screen time than most of the supporting cast. And again, that's David Ayer, you know. So if you want to release that Ayer cut, it's probably just nothing but Margot Robbie in short shorts, which, you know, fine with, but don't market that as a damn movie. Yeah. Quite honestly, this movie really sold me on Margot Robbie more than anything else, really.
I mean, honestly, Suicide Squad did kind of sell me on her because she was one of like a few of the small minor details about that movie that I did enjoy. So I was like, okay, I'm totally on board with Margot Robbie. And then when they announced this movie, I'm like, all right, great. And then they announced the title. It was like Birds of Prey. And I was thrilled because I freaking love the Birds of Prey. I mean,
get it there somewhere. Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, you got Huntress right there.
Got another one right up there.
Nice. Yeah, I know she's one of your favorite DC characters.
Oh, and absolutely, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, this is
the main reason I haven't watched this before last night was because that title just pissed me off so much. You're gonna call it Birds of Prey with one of the best character teams in DC, in my opinion,
Yeah.
And then you're going to make them playing second fiddle in their own movie. That pissed me off so much.
And I feel like a lot of that, like we've talked about this before, that that Warner Brothers has a incredible habit of stepping on their own dick all the time. This was where it came in. The titling of this movie. This movie had, I think, 2 or 3 working titles in its release. Usually there's a working title and then there's the final release title. They changed the title of this movie, which didn't help things. Also, the fact this movie was released 2 weeks before the COVID outbreak didn't help either.
Yeah.
The R rating, it's the first of the DC movies to be rated R. The DCEU movies to be rated R. Sorry. I'm not counting Joker in that. Because
was I.
You shouldn't.
I was just trying to think about if there were any others.
Nope. Everything else was a solid PG-13. And I'm talking theatrical release, so don't count that bullshit Snyder extended version of Batman versus Superman where they said one fuck and all of a sudden it's didn't make the movie better.
I was wondering how long it would take for you to bring that one up.
Oh, you thought I was gonna bring up the other one, didn't you?
Actually, I didn't think you wait 6 minutes. I thought you'd get it in before that.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about BVS. I didn't even talk about the ZJL. So ZSJL. I gotta say, there is so much about this movie, and I know that you said it took a while for it to warm to you.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this movie on the first watching. Watching it again, I watched it last week when we made the decision to watch this. I have to say, the one thing I really picked up on more so was the reasoning behind the disjointed narrative, and it's all because she's telling the story. And she's out of her goddamn mind.
Yeah.
She is legitimately insane. So she's going to be scattershot. And she's got, oh, I forgot to tell you that. Let me go back.
Yeah. I was texting Andy while I was watching it. I was like, the whole flash forward, flash back storytelling style, I'm not a fan of it. I artistically speaking, I completely understand it and it makes total sense. But storytelling wise, not something I'm a huge fan of. So
right.
I understand why. I'm just not really on board with the let's do it.
Right. I mean, and the thing is that because you don't see this often in movies like this. You know, if every movie in the DCEU did this, then I'd be like, okay, you gotta stop this gimmick.
Yeah. I don't like them revealing plot points before they reveal the plot points.
Right. So, but I enjoyed it again because I feel like it works for her because she's the one telling this story.
Yeah.
They kind of do something not really similar in the Suicide Squad, but it's not nearly as frequent or as egregious, if you will. But the thing about this movie I really loved, first of all, the fact that they finally were allowed to have fun with it. I felt like they had that with most of Shazam. I think the biggest knock to me on Shazam, as it's been 3 years since that movie came out, was when it gets dark, it gets dark.
Oh yeah, that boardroom scene is
exactly. But you
horrendous.
But the problem is it snaps right into something like light, and it's just you need a cooling down period in between that, and that's my biggest issue with Shazam is that it's a family movie where they need to cut some scenes out to make it completely family friendly. I don't even mind the language in it. I was just like, ooh. With this one, I felt like they had a good time with it. There is some brutality in it. Oh, just the fact that Ewan McGregor's character, he just has a henchman, just peels people's faces off, which was
the Ewan McGregor's villain, his goon is Zaz, and if you know anything about the character from the comics, that is not a fun, happy-go-lucky kid.
No.
He is a brutal serial killer who carves up his own body when he kills somebody.
Yeah, kind of like Eric Killmonger.
Yeah, but not quite as good looking.
Well,
Michael B. Jordan is fantastic.
That's true. That's true. So I'm just pulling up the stuff on what do you
I
call
got it
it?
right here too.
Yeah. Because we're talking about all this stuff, I'm going to forget names because I'm terrible.
Yeah.
But
I recognized Rosie Perez, but I couldn't place her name. I was like, I know I've seen the Montoya before. I just don't know who's playing it. And then Rosie Perez in the character. So I'm like, yes, Rosie Perez. I love Rosie Perez.
Yeah.
And I would say of all of the side characters, she had the most screen time.
She did. She absolutely did. But I gotta say, I wanted more of Mary Elizabeth Winstead's Huntress. I thought what they gave us was fun. Would have liked more of it. Yep. There we go.
Who do you think wanted more of her?
Right here. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I did like though how you could see this was still kind of her beginning. She's still kind of trying to make a name for herself. Practicing her introduction in the mirror was a nice touch because again, she doesn't know much of anything other than killing.
Yeah. And as someone who freaking loves her from the comics, I do think that Mary Elizabeth Winstead did a great job, and they really captured the Huntress. I mean, she is a very brutal Batman. I mean, Batman has actually come down on her pretty hard before because he's like, you crossed a few lines, you got to pull back.
Yeah.
So they have a very adversarial relationship in the comics. So I think they really pulled her. They really did a good job with Huntress.
Yeah, I agree with that. The other thing I liked too was just every time you saw somebody who Harley had offended, you get the full rap sheet of everything that she did to offend them. And it was just that whole montage of every single person, fed brother to hyena.
I did like when she was being she was about to be tortured by Sionis.
Yeah.
It's like Sionis, and then just kept showing all the grievances.
It was really great too. And here's the scene, and I remember when because I didn't see the movie till it hit HBO Max. The scene that everybody raved about, and I fully was on board with this, was that sandwich scene.
Oh.
That is the greatest romantic story of 2020. Is Harley Quinn and that egg sandwich. I want that egg sandwich.
You see, I don't. It's got Tabasco and it's got runny eggs on it. Nope.
Just a drop of Tabasco, though, just for a little bit of heat. But you don't want to take away from the bacon. Okay.
See, I'm more of the Huntress. Give me number 27, mild.
Yep.
Don't give me the extra peppers.
Right. I thought that was. It was a great scene. They lovingly shot that, just the making of that sandwich, and I felt horrible when it dropped.
For me, it's the runny eggs. I don't.
Okay, yes, I love runny eggs too, but
can't stand runny eggs.
So let's talk about Roman Sionis a little bit because and I said this to you, and again, we're dealing with an insanely low bar. In my opinion, he might be the greatest live-action DCEU villain. And the only reason I'm saying live-action is because the Suicide Squad has a giant CG starfish in it. And that is comics accurate.
Yeah.
And it was in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything.
No.
Roman Sionis plays, Ewan McGregor plays him insane. And so there's so many levels to his character where it's not like that one note, just laughing maniacally Schumacher Batman type of character. I thought he was fantastic. He also used his goons very effectively.
I mean, to be fair though, I mean the bar was insanely low, but this is also Ewan freaking McGregor. he is the one shining light in the prequels.
Yeah.
So I mean, he can take dog shit and make it shine like a diamond.
Right.
So
Right.
I have utmost respect for Ewan McGregor.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait for Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but it was really nice too because of how he, like the way that he just threatened without threatening Black Canary.
Yeah.
Like the entire time, you could tell she's terrified of this guy.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely terrified of this guy.
Yeah, when he makes her his driver, and like she's like, no, he's like, no, you're giving him a driver, and he's like, no, you are not telling me no, because otherwise you're gonna be following your predecessor.
Yeah. That scene with his driver, that was great. Just jumps straight on his legs and breaks them.
So many broken bones in this movie.
Oh,
so many broken bones. I mean, in the fight scene in the prison, the guy that in the car door.
Oh yeah. That was such a well choreographed fight scene. I felt like, Black Mask was amazing in this movie. So Sociopath wasn't over the top until he broke. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. That is a really great point. But it's nice because I feel like, again, we're dealing with different levels of, of the type of villainy we see in this series of movies. That it's refreshing. It's really refreshing, really, to have like a ground level villain like this. Again, who utilizes goons well.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back, you think about Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
I'd rather not.
Used a couple of goons, but it was mainly, Jolly Ranchers and stuff. Kevin, I might be right there with you. I don't know if you caught us at the very beginning. Right now, it's between this and Shazam is my favorite, with like the Suicide Squad somewhere in there too. It's like, it's really. I mean, if I'm going to do the MCU comparison, it's the Guardians 2 Ragnarok thing for me. It's like, which one is my favorite today?
For me, it's Shazam, without a doubt. I mean, this one's good. It's up there. I would still probably put it below Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman.
Okay, I put it above Wonder Woman, and let me explain why. It did the one thing that Wonder Woman wasn't able to do, and that was stand up to repeat viewings.
Okay, I've only seen it once, so.
Okay, Wonder Woman is when you first see it, you're just, I can't believe they made something this beautiful. This is fantastic. That's the first viewing. That is all the awe in the world. By the fourth or fifth viewing, it's like, okay, I'm just going to turn it off after No Man's Land, because that third act is just, not only did they not stick the landing, but oh my god, another snap bone.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, this one really hit its stride at the third act. Wonder Woman, it fell apart in the third act, but those first two acts are really solidly good.
You're right.
And this one, the first two acts they're good.
It's top four. It's still top 4 DCEU for me.
Oh yeah.
And again, you haven't seen the Suicide Squad yet,
no, I haven't.
Which I give extra points only because it improved so much on that piece of shit.
Yeah.
All right. So here's another thing I really enjoyed about this movie. I really enjoyed the fact that they severed that Joker-Harley relationship.
Yeah.
They really, now we all know blah, 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 blah. Joker shows up, Jared Leto, blah. Still shows up. He wasn't killed and whatever she had done to him. But it was definitely she blew it up.
They literally blew up their relationship.
She is independent.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic because she works so much better.
Yeah.
And it kills all those bullshit tropes that we were seeing during the release of Suicide Squad, and even before that with, have a relationship like Joker and Harley's. Why? It's abusive and one-sided.
Yeah. The only thing I would knock this on that aspect is the fact that the Harley Quinn TV series did it so much better.
No, and they had more time. The thing is, though, like, they had more time to do it.
Yeah, they did. But that
you know, they
still
also could do things like the Harley Quinn Expressway, which you couldn't do in a movie.
That was so amazing.
There's
the whole show was just amazing. If you haven't seen Harley Quinn, go out and watch Harley Quinn.
You need to.
So good.
These really, they fit so well together. Even though you got two different actresses, the stories are very, very different. And now that we have gone a little further into the cinematic universe, where King Shark is a completely different type of character than he is in the cartoon. I'm fine with that, by the way. I'm fine with both of them. I love them both.
Yeah.
But there's just the fight choreography in this movie, especially during, and you brought it up too. It's like, it's amazing how easy she got into the Gotham PD.
Using a beanbag gun.
And I just said, it's their crippling dependency on Batman.
Yeah.
Now Batman will fix this for us. Why do we even have cops? We have Batman.
She walks in. She is slightly disguised when she walks in the front door. She loses the disguise and then starts like beanbagging every single cop in this entire place. I'm like, how did she just walk into Gotham City PD and take out half of their force with a beanbag gun? I mean,
right. Well, I mean, again, this is a movie, and we do need to put in some suspension of disbelief. Yeah. Now, here's the thing, okay? When they released a trailer for this movie, I immediately wrote it off as being a Deadpool ripoff. This does have, I'm not going to lie, this does have a lot of Deadpool overtones to it. The narrating to the audience. There are a lot of time shifts in Deadpool as well. Yeah. But the thing is, I feel like they're not comparisons, they're compliments to each other. You're taking sidekicks, fringe characters. You gave them a movie, and this works just as well as Deadpool. Just on it goes in a different direction because I don't think they were allowed to shit on Warner Brothers the way that Deadpool could shit on Fox.
Yeah, I think they gave Deadpool a lot more freedom.
They definitely did,
and because Warner Brothers has no sense of humor about itself.
Right. I really just, this is a fun movie. It just is a fun movie. It's just, I really enjoyed it. Even the end scene in in an abandoned carnival. My God, how perfect could that be?
And you know what? As much as I freaking love Pat Benatar, their version of
Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Yeah, they're kind of like a slow, kind of very, very slow.
I didn't know any better. I think it was Lorde or Lana Del Rey because they're like the queens of the slow down 80s pop tune.
Who did do that one? I got it right here.
Find it out as well because this is what we do.
Well, the
dog knows.
No, he doesn't. He's just a stupid dog. Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Adana.
Adana. Okay.
Never heard of it.
All right. I'm not familiar either,
but just that slow version as they're like kind of walking in, the whole thing is being set up. I thought it was beautifully used. The music in this one was really solid.
Yeah, I agree. Again, this is something that I feel this entire universe has been lacking in.
Yeah.
So it is nice to get something more than just, the overuse of Hans Zimmer or Junkie XL. Yeah. And again, this feeds in like I highly recommend, now that you've seen this, you've essentially gotten the weight of the title off of your shoulders now, and you've watched this movie, seem to have enjoyed it. Go forth, watch the Suicide Squad. Watch all of Peacemaker. This is the DCEU we need.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to check out Suicide Squad when we review it.
Okay. Not going to do it beforehand? Just to enjoy a movie?
I want it to be fresh.
Like you can't watch it twice. It's so good. It's so good.
I can, but you wouldn't be getting my fresh initial reactions like you did today.
Okay. I gotcha.
A
Yeah.
little bit of
all right.
authenticity here.
Yeah. You gotta watch Peacemaker then. Ugh! They're just little threads.
I've already been spoiled by how that ends.
Oh, so you've seen the thing. You've seen the shot, right?
Peacemaker standing there, a bunch of figures in the background. I was like, okay, I know who those are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And all it did to serve, and I'm not really spoiling anything because I mean the big shock is seeing the characters there. But just watching Peacemaker walking out, going, "It's about time you fucking asshole showed up."
Yeah, no. I saw like an image of that. Saw Peacemaker looking at them. And it's about time you fucking asshole showed up.
Yeah, and then Aquaman, played by Jason Momoa, looks at him and goes, "God, I hate that fucking guy. Yeah, why don't you go fuck some fish? Oh, I hate that fucking rumor." And I'm like, this is all the restored Snyderverse I need now. It's the fact that rumor is now canon.
Well, plus it's Jason Momoa, and I've got a massive man crush on Jason Momoa.
I understand that, yeah, but him and Ezra Miller were the only two that showed up because him and Ezra Miller are the only ones shooting movies for Warner Brothers right now. So,
and Ray Fisher sure is not going to be showing up anywhere soon.
Nope.
That bridge has been very well burned.
Yes, exactly. Not his fault though, but still, I do not blame him for not wanting to work with them ever again. Yeah. All in all, Mike, this movie is for me, solid B+.
You know what? I think it's got like a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm thinking, you know what? That's a good score for me. 79%. Right. Yeah, it's a C+, B-.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That is fantastic, and it makes me happy too because I was really concerned that you were going into it with they fucking named Birds of Prey, they should have named Harley Quinn, and that was going to follow the whole thing. Yeah,
I did, but I still went in with like, okay, I should have been fucking called Harley Quinn, but the movie itself could still be enjoyable.
Yeah, and it was. This movie is aces.
See, unlike some other people, I'm willing to put aside minor quibbles to have an open mind. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about general fandom is impossible in general.
The fandom of this one was, and I'm not even talking the whole fandom too, because like I know M did a review of this about a year and a half ago.
Oh, cool! I can go back and watch that now.
Oh yeah, now you can go back and listen to it. Yes, last Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Around that time, I only remember because I was driving to pick up our turkey when I was listening to it. Weird detail, but. This is one. If you've been sleeping on this one, if you haven't gone out to see it yet, or this could just be one of those movies too. I feel for some people that might just be if it's on. Hey, if I'm flipping around the channels and it's on, park it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't do great in the box office.
Again, it was released 2 weeks before COVID.
Yeah. Let me see. Budget of 82 to 100 million, pulled in like a little over 200, but from
that's
what
worldwide
I hear,
though, right?
Huh? That's worldwide, and from what I hear, it needed to pull in at least about 250 to 3 in order to break even.
Right, and so again,
it quite break even.
Just like Onward.
Yeah,
these movies came out mere weeks before the pandemic.
Yeah,
and they were hurt by that.
This one was beat out by Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Which I still haven't seen. I've heard it's quite enjoyable.
My son loved it. I thought it was crap.
Well, see, my biggest issue is Jim Carrey. No, anybody else as Robotnik, please. Anybody else.
Yeah. No, honestly, it's like his nonsense wasn't nearly as offensive as the Sonic nonsense. I'll leave it up to you. It was just like movies. Like I'm watching it with my son. I'm like this.
Yeah.
Just gonna sit here and I'm gonna watch it and I'm not gonna do anything else. I wish I could watch Pokemon, Detective Pokemon again.
That was a fun movie.
But
anyway,
that's a good movie. What's that?
Is a good movie.
No. Well, we can't. I'm not putting off our next series of movies for a while. And not until April we go back to Disney month. But that's another story entirely.
Well put.
All right. Anything else you want to say about Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn?
We haven't really talked too much about what's her name? Dang. Journey Smollett Bell as Black Canary.
No, we didn't. I liked it. I also liked that they held off on the superpower until the very end.
Yeah. Well, you had to. That's too much of an OP thing.
Right. Well, it also, and for those who are uninitiated, it just makes sense that it was going to knock her out.
Yeah.
That she can only use it once in a sitting, which is fine.
And I did like the fact that she actually sang her own song in that.
Yeah. No, she was fantastic. I liked her a lot in this.
I liked all of them. Actually, I liked all of the actresses.
Yeah.
Cassandra was all right. I'm more used to the Cassandra Cain Black Batwoman from comics.
Okay.
So seeing this version was okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
I did like Ali Wong for the little bit of time she had in this too, because she's delightful, and she's essentially now been just a go-to Disney voice.
Ali Wong
was the DA.
Yeah,
ex-girlfriend.
Montoya's ex, yeah.
Yeah. And we really didn't spend too much time on Montoya. I was so happy. I remember how much of a star Rosie Perez used to be in the early 90s.
Yeah.
But she really did a great job in this movie. I thought,
she did.
Her determination, I thought that was all great.
Yeah. I was a little, not necessarily worried, but I was wondering if they were going to try and go into the question. And I was like, I kind of hope that they don't, because that would be kind of pushing how much you can fit into this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to do like a solo Birds of Prey movie, finally, that would probably be a good place to introduce Montoya as the question.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as just like a good cop and a pretty shitty PD. Even
exactly.
Beyond the cop, they were just kind of scummy.
Well, exactly. Well, it's just that it's that boys' club, which it was nice to see her, and yeah, I agree. I'm glad that they didn't try to cram too much into this.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, because of the the lackluster box office, I don't know if we're going to see, and I'd love to see more of them. I really would. I don't know if that might just be like a Max. Honestly, that could be a Max series. That really could be.
Right now, according to Wikipedia, there is a spin-off movie based on Black Canary in the works.
Okay.
And I've heard that actually the Batgirl movie that they're aiming for HBO Max. I've heard that there's interest in maybe bringing in Harley Quinn into that one as well, or at least having some kind of a duo between those two.
Right. Well, I know Margot Robbie's essentially this movie netted her the production deal with Warner's. I have a feeling she's going to want to take a break. 3 times around the corner for this. I don't doubt she'll show back up again.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, if nothing else, this movie proved to me that Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn was the Harley Quinn I didn't realize I needed.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love Kelly Cuoco, and I can't wait for season 3 to come up, I really enjoyed this movie. I really, really like this movie.
I still prefer Kelly Cuoco, but I for as far as live action, please more.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, I got nothing else to say.
Nope.
I'm glad you like this one. Really happy you like this one, Mike. So, anyway, Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. We just released side 1 of our Music of 1992 episode this past weekend. Side 2 comes out on Sunday. It is edited. It is in the can, ready for Sunday's launch. So I told you we'd give you a full week on it. So you can get that wherever you get your podcasts. Also, please, if you like this video, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and let us know in a polite comment below. What were your thoughts on Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey? One of the working titles.
The proper working title.
Yeah, exactly. Where does this rank in your ranking of the DCEU? Again, please. I know that with the DCEU, people can get really touchy about it. So let's just keep it civil, numbers only. We appreciate that. You can also follow us on the social media, on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio and on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.